Hello and welcome to everyone. I am Vivek Kumar Sonu, PhD scholar from Department of Physics, PIT Mesra, Ranchi. I am thankful to the organizing members of International Conference on Energy Materials and Device ICEMD 2022 for providing me an opportunity to present my work titled Fast and Stable Electrolyte Scandium Cold Barium Salate at this event. This is the outline of my talk. Here in the background, I will discuss in brief about the status of energy, focusing mainly on the renewable energy sources, position, and demand in India. Then, introduction to my field of work through device and its component, followed by material selected and its synthesis. Then, analysis of different characterizations and its explanation in the result and discussion sections. And finally, conclusion and references. As we know, the major challenges facing by 21st century is global warming and energy problems. And when considering the problem of energy, it is essential not to be distracted by near-sighted economic factors. We must also consider medium and long-term environmental concerns. In Figure 1, we are trying to study the impact of urbanization. The percentage of global population lives in cities and is expanding and is expected to increase by 20% or more by 2050. This leads the city to account for 75% of global energy usage by causing 70% of global CO2 emission. However, the city also constitutes a key opportunity to progress towards climate goals to reach net zero emissions by 2050. So the investment needs to triple in next 10 years. Figure 2 shows the projection of renewables, the most used energy sources by 2050 compared to the other sources. Figure 3 shows the technology-wise share in India's installed capacity with an increase of 1% of shares related to other renewable energy sources when the Government of India announced the Clean and Clean India in 2006, giving hydrogen roadmap with an aim to produce 1,000 MW of hydrogen powered by 2020. However, due to COVID-19, we are chasing these goals still. The government allocated a budget of about $2.8 million for hydrogen energy and fuel cell related activities for the financial year 2021. This leads to the potential to scale up hydrogen use in India up to 10 times by 2050. Introduction to fuel cells, the fueling the future. So let us start with the basic questions. What is a fuel cell? Broadly speaking, a fuel cell is an electrochemical reactor that converts the chemical energy of the fuel directly to the electricity without combustion. The fuel is oxidized at anode, transferred through the electrolyte, and recombines at the cathode. So the complete cell reaction is a redox reaction. Fuel cells are characterized on the basis of the electrolyte material and charge carriers. To name a few of our polymer exchange, polymer electrolyte membrane fuel cell, alkaline fuel cell, phosphoric acid fuel cell, molten carbon fuel cells, solid oxide fuel cells, and many more. And to answer why fuel cell, the answer is fuel cell can be used in many areas for providing power across multiple sectors, including transport, industries, commercial, residential, etc., and many more, both as a stationary and a portable power source. Solid oxide fuel cells. The solid oxide fuel cells basically uses oxide electrolyte in solid form. The basic working principle of solid oxide fuel cells involves the oxidation of fuel at anode, the migration of protons and oxide ions through the electrolyte, and then the reduction of oxygen at the cathode. Thus, overall cell reaction is a redox reaction, producing water as a main byproduct. The research area within SOFC lies two electrode, that is anode and cathode, electrolyte materials, and electrode electrolyte interface. The basic requirements of long-term successful operation of the SOFC electrolyte must possess conductivity and durability in terms of performance, and at the same time cost effective too. Electrolyte material uh, must material of applications. Among the various group of oxides known, perovskite structure was found to be the most favorable, as it permits a high concentration and mobility of defects. Of the many known perovskite material, based on barium cerate exhibits a high proton conductivity, while barium zirconate possesses high chemical stability. So a suitable concentration of zirconium is added to barium cerate to compensate the trade-off between the two. The eluvalent co-doping of scandium are investigated and discussed here. The figure shows an ideal representation of perovskite structure where A site at the corner of the lattice, while B cations at the body center of the lattice, and oxygen at the face center. The synthesis process of the sample being carried out by grinding the raw material for 6 hours, followed by calcined at 1350, and then recalcination and regrinding to confirm the phase formation, complete phase formation, then thereby granulation, and finally sintering at 1450 or 1500 degrees Celsius for the pellet formation. So, resultant discussions. Structural analysis. The figure shows the powder X-ray diffraction spectra of the orthorhombic single-phased material of a PMCN space group. The diffraction peaks were found to shift towards a higher 2 theta angle, which is a clear sign of increase in scandium concentration in the samples, and also the decrease of lattice parameters. At the right, figure 10 represents shows the room temperature Raman spectra of the compositions. The band between 300 to 400 degrees, 400 centimeter inverse represents the perovskite phase, where the band E and F corresponds to the stretching modes of the BO6 octahedral, while the band D represents the bending of the octahedral. While the band at the lower frequency region, that is 85 to 100 not 5, marked A and B represents the vibrational modes for barium BO6 dodecahedra, where the motion mainly due to the barium ions. Here we can observe that the two peaks are weakened to one, and thereby showing that the short range symmetry of the lattice has increased. Thus, both XRD and Raman spectra reveals that the sample being prepared is stable, chemically stable. Thermogravity analysis shows the TJ curves of the sample kept in a dry and vacuum at and water vapor under each for 24 hours. Here we can show the weight loss about 100 degrees Celsius is mainly due to the water in physical form, and that above 200 is due to the loss of water from the lattice site or structural water. The same can be explained here as we observed in the DSC curves of the T sample. Upon hydration, the water molecules can get absorbed at the surface in the pores and to the lattice side. Upon heating, we observe endothermic peak around 100 degrees Celsius, which shows the loss of physical water from the surface and pores. While another endothermic peak is observed after 200 uh, degrees Celsius, which generally corresponds to the loss of structural water from the lattice. This is the impedance spectroscopic data and shows the Nyquist plot of the samples at 325 degrees Celsius measured in air, wet nitrogen, dry carbon dioxide, and wet carbon dioxide. Here we can observe that the wet atmosphere shows high conductivity as compared to the dry. The reason maybe is due to the incorporation of water molecules, which leads to the proton migration, and increasing the conductivity in wet conditions. We also observed that although the scandium doping leads to the creation of more oxygen vacancy, still we observe the higher concentration of scandium shows less conductivity than the lower concentration. The reason maybe is due to the proton trapping. First, let us understand how the proton transfer mechanism is going on inside the uh, electrolyte. Since upon doping with rare earth at the B site, we create oxygen vacancy, and upon hydration, the water molecules the water molecule settles at the oxygen vacancy, and the hydrogen atom gets loosely bond and starts to uh, reorientate in the surrounding oxygen lattice, and thereby leading to the proton migration by reorientation and hopping. This complete mechanism is known as Grosset's mechanism. Now, when we doped with rare earth, the two B site becomes more more electronegative, which leads to the trapping of protons. So, as we observed in this section, the arrow represents the trapping of protons at the rare earth site. So it requires some extra amount of energy to get itself mobilized to the other octahedral. So the proton path can be observed that within this yttrium octahedral, and the proton gets trapped, while in zirconium octahedral, the proton have sufficient energy to migrate. This is being proposed by Yamazaki et al. In 2013. So at conclusion and future scope, we have successfully synthesized single phase compounds, and Raman and XRT spectra reveals that both short range and long range structural symmetry has increased. The substitution of scandium at cerium site has greatly enhanced the conductivity and stability of the samples measured under different atmosphere. The high boundary resistance of the barium cerium zirconium has been greatly lowered due to the scandium substitution. The field of development of stable and low temperature proton conducting electrolytes for energy conversion device remains wide. Some of the limitations are that to avoid contamination from ball and milling additives, so we use mortar and pestle. For grinding purpose, precautions has been taken to measure the density using Archimedes principle. Uh, During simultaneous TGDSC analysis, the instrument must be kept isolated to achieve better result. Also, the impedance measurement are not reproducible, hence various experimental atmosphere must be precisely monitored. So these are the some references. At the last, I'd like to thank the members of the International Conference on Energy Materials and Devices ICMD, Department of Physics, Banaras Hindu University, Department of Physics, Birla Institute of Technology, Mesra, Ranchi. Thank you all.